You're live.
Okay, did it show live before?
No.
Okay.
Now we're live.
Okay, well, you're on.
Okay, good morning, Breakfast Club family. This is Mark Stevens. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Looking for a great day today. Some great information. Got some things we want to share. I'm quite sure that Joe has some things he wants to share with us, so I'll bring Joe. Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good morning, Mark. I'm fantastic and amazing.
Ready for some...
Fantastic and amazing. Just looking for a few notes here.
Okay.
I know I have it over. I'm not sharing my screen at the moment, so I'm just going to go over here and get this information here. There we go. Actually, let me copy this. Maybe I'll put this on a slide. I guess I don't. Let me do this. I guess we don't have to share the screen. What do you see on your screen when I'm not screen sharing, Victor?
We see you.
Oh, okay. I knew that. All right. Let me. I don't need to screen share this particular thing, but let me just say this. We're still actually 3 minutes to the hour, Mark. So I know you had a couple things you wanted to cover. Why don't you do that?
Okay.
And maybe I'll make a slide of this if I can very quickly.
I'll go ahead and do that. Breakfast Club family. Again, you know, a lot of the things that we're talking about is this new presentation, and it pertains to that. And I was looking at some things, and I'm going to share some things with you that actually show you again how, you know, very relevant this new presentation is. There's some people in Congress, and you know how I feel about some of them. I told you about it, but here's what's happening. What you probably don't know is that in Congress, you know, they make these laws, and a lot of times they make these laws when we're asleep, and then we find out about it later. Well, here's the reason why we talked about in the presentation. You know, we talked a lot about the millennials as well as the baby boomers. Well, I got something that pertains to both this morning. And what's happening is that, if you remember last week, I talked about the Pension Guaranty Benefit Corporation, who actually looks over all the pension programs in the country. And there are a number of pension programs, I said, that they're saying that by a certain time, they may not have enough money to, you know, to pay pensions. And the Pension Guaranty Corporation is the one that guarantees this, and that's the government agency. Well, guess what? The government agency doesn't have enough money either. So right now, you've got a Democrat and a Republican in the Congress that are getting together to pass a law to cut pensions of the people who are already receiving pensions. And the law that's on the books right now say you can't do that. But see, these people work together, and they work together against your interests. I keep telling you that. And so now this is what's going on. So this is why we say in our presentation that you have to control your own retirement. You have to control the economy in your home. Because if you don't, then you have to take command of your own retirement. If you don't, you can't depend on the government to do that. And as I said, I'm gonna say it again, all the government is gonna do is take your money. So you have to take care of yourself. And that's why that presentation that, you know, we put together is so important, and it has so many things in there that you have to look at it, you have to understand it, and you have to do something about it now. Just like Jim Rome saying, you have to start today. So that's what's going on, and the labor unions now are accusing Congress of a sneak attack on the pensions. And a lot of the Congress people are lame duck. In other words, they're about to go out. So it doesn't matter what type of laws they pass now. It doesn't matter. They don't care. You're the one that has to care. The other thing is that the millennials now are sticking with jobs longer, but it's costing them because they're going on jobs that don't pay that much money, and they don't know what to do about their retirements. And one of their biggest worries, and we put this in the presentation before I even saw this, their biggest worries is that they're thinking what's happening to the baby boomers, which are their parents, are going to happen to them. And you have some that are in denial that says this can't happen to me and that type of thing. So we need to wake up and pay attention. This presentation is so important. And remember, we're not gold, we're not peddling gold. We are teaching people to have successful businesses from home. And gold is just happens to be one of the top commodities that we have. And because one of the things, gold and Karatbars is the answer to this problem. People today, again, I'm going to say it again, they need to get out of paper and they need to get into precious metals. Karatbars has the answer. You're going to have to protect yourself and you're going to have to do it now. So, Joe, just let me when you're ready because I can go on and on about this. And,
I'm okay. You're fine. I'm ready, but it's all right.
Let me let you take over because we have to understand the importance of this presentation and where we're headed. And we have to understand that we have to be careful in the direction that we're headed. And we're trying to direct people the right way. So I'll turn that back over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to screen share now. And Victor, I have a question for you. When I just brought it up full screen, I think I lost the webinar screen. I mean, I didn't lose it, but it went because it went full screen. Let me try to do something different here. Let me screen share first, I guess. And then I think this is how I do it. But let's stay on track here with what Mark's talking about. And here it is. All right, tell me what you see on your screen.
See the slide?
Do you see all the slides on the left?
Yes.
Okay, now let me get rid of those. And the best way I know how to do that is to go to from current slide. Let's take a look. Now what do you see? Just the slide, right?
For right now, I don't know if we have that delay in it, but that's what we see right now, the slide plus the ones on the side.
Thumbnails are all there. I think you have to click the button at the top. You see where it says refresh, and then right next to it there's that.
Well, there's going to be, I've already brought it full screen, so it's what you should be seeing. So maybe it's a delay. So
wouldn't be a delay for us, Joe.
Right, that's true. Let me go back. And all right, so there was also a place
right there. Up to the left.
Right there?
I think so.
All right, well, let's just try it. What did that do?
Nothing.
That's what I thought. All right, that's no problem. Can you see this slide? Let me go here and see if I can.
You see the slide.
Okay, you can read the slide actually?
On my other computer, no.
So then that means they can't see that. All right, so let me, once again, I don't know why that's not showing that, because this is how we did it before. All right, no problem. I'm going to try one more thing here. I'm going to go to read only, reading view, and see what this does. Did that change anything?
There you go.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. All right, now let me just say this. What Mark was talking about is, you know, we are very proud of this presentation. It is basically not new, but new for us, meaning new for you know, this day and time. And it is something that has proven to be successful over the years, addressing the business like this as a business, not as buyers of your product or service, learning and teaching people the principles of having a business, you know, to build it, to operate, maintain it. And what we believe, we've always believed, and you probably do as well, there's something wrong with the system in the home business arena. There's something wrong with it. Now, if you ask the people making a lot of money, they'll tell you nothing's wrong with it, of course. But if you look at the majority of the people who are building those incomes for people, and I'm not complaining about that, that's what this business is. I'm just saying that the majority of the people, over 95%, are sitting where you are, which is, I need to make more money. And if you have the right attitude, if you realize that what you're doing doesn't work, trying to sell product and service and convince your friends, and in this case, let's say carrot bars, that gold is the way you need to answer, is the answer to all of their problems, I suggest you won't make it. This quote, let me see if anybody, you guys can look in there and see if anybody knows where this, well, you already know. I guess you would know where it comes from based on the second paragraph, right? This is part of our Constitution. The Founding Fathers understood something. They understood that there would be problems. And forget about the word government for the moment. We have problems in life, hurdles that need to be jumped. People create things and they don't work. When they asked, I guess, Edison, you know, you failed 1,000 times, he said, no, I only found 1,000 ways that it doesn't work. You know, and so about the incandescent light. And so in our case, we're finding out thousands and thousands of ways that this business doesn't work. And this is what our Constitution says. If there's something wrong, those who have the ability to take action have the responsibility to take action. Now, I believe that, you know, long ago that I recognized something was wrong. And until I could team up with Mark, you know, I didn't have a whole lot of people who, you know, believed in we need to make a change. Now, we used this presentation 15 years ago. And, you know, it's been adjusted for this company. It's been adjusted for now. But we were successful with this presentation, teaching people how to have a successful business, teaching them the principles of business and what has happened in the past and how we can correct it in the future. And I always believed, you know, it's been a long time since I read the entire Constitution. I was a little kid. And I told Mark that I was going to reread this, but one of the things that is pulled out of here is this: if there's something wrong, those who have the ability to take action have the responsibility. I believe that we have the responsibility to take action to make changes. This was, I believe, Thomas Jefferson who actually made this statement. And it was the motivating forces behind the, you know, force behind the Founding Fathers. This is what they believed in. And here's what the writer of this says: I believe this quote should be used in our personal lives. When people can make something better, they should. And I don't care what criticism that we're getting from a presentation that's way off to the left in most cases. We believe this is the right thing to teach people, is to show them what has happened in the past and how we can change it in the future. And it's not just about saving gold. Some of us have other areas that we save in. Some people use mutual funds. I still have some mutual funds. Not doing very well, but still have them. I have some stocks in a couple of companies. There's things out there now. I mean, silver. People, you're hearing all over. People are buying silver, and then there's companies people want you to, you know, to be a part of that are in the silver business. Okay. Then there's Bitcoin. You know, people are running to that. And so there's ways to preserve the future. There's ways to preserve your retirement, to help your family's legacy, to change it. And it's not just about gold. I mean, we all know that. And you know, some people haven't been successful here. Some surprising people have left and gone to things like Bitcoin and so on. And you know, that's not what we're doing as far as making a change. But there's nothing wrong with you know, with owning Bitcoin. That's for sure. So look, the point of it is that we're trying to make a change here. This is why we're doing what we're doing. This is why we're writing the handbook. This is why we rewrote this presentation, so that we can make the change, because we recognize there's a problem. Most people aren't making money, enough money anyway. And that's why we're trying to make this change. And that's why we need people, those of you that show up every day, that get it. they get it and they go, okay, well, how can I make a change? How can I now make a difference? So that's the key. Everybody's heard this before, maybe not this quote here, but this is right in the Constitution. If there's something wrong, those who have the ability to take action have the responsibility to take action. So, truthfully, you're on this call, you have the responsibility to take action because now you know, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be believing in what we're saying. Something is wrong in this industry, and that's, slowly but surely we're going to make that change. We are making a change. We're making a difference now. And so one of the things that we need to do is to stay on track and take action. And you have that responsibility to take action. So let me say how do you do that? Well, first of all, you have to plan your business. We talked about this yesterday. It's in the manual now, which will be done by tonight. Be completely, maybe just has to be proofread, but it'll be ready. That doesn't mean we're going to give it away tomorrow on the Breakfast Club or anywhere. Some people are asking, well, Joe, where is it? I want to see it. No, well, you can't see it. You saw a piece of it yesterday, what it actually looks like. So I should be done writing that tonight. And it, just as we have amendments to the Constitution, we'll have to do that here. We'll have to make changes as we move along and make sure that I've said everything the right way and that it makes sense, because that's the idea here, is the terminology that I'm using in here has to make sense. It's got to create the right perception. So when you see this manual, you'll be able to say, okay, now I have a prospect. I found them through, let's say, the presentation, and you're telling them, I have a system. I'm going to turn you over to a director who will answer your questions. But the truth is, Bob, we have a system here, a real turnkey operation. And what I need to know is, with a little bit of training and a lot of support, can you follow that system? Will you be able to do that? Because I'm not looking for new inventors here. I'm looking for someone who says, I see it, I get it, I'm part of the team. A lot of people have come to the Breakfast Club and then decided on their own language, their own stuff, because they, people have egos and they want to be noticed. They want to be, that's not what Mark and I are about being noticed and changing things. We've given scripts to people who actually gave them out to other people who were supposed to be responsible people, and then gave them to their downline. So, we don't use those people anymore, because they don't have the authority to do that, number one, and it doesn't make any sense, number two, and on top of that, changed some of the language. So do you have the right to do that? Yeah, but then you see what I said yesterday? We're not going to let that happen here. We're not going to allow people to come in here and take their own stance and then voice their opinions about what they think when they don't have any success behind them to back it up. So my point is, this system is almost totally in place. When this manual's done, then you're going to see how a new person can come in the door, hand them a book, a handbook, so to speak, and say, here's how you get started. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's get that accomplished. Let's move forward. And all of this boils down to communication and connection. That's what it boils down to. That's the only way you're going to get results, because you can't control the result. You can only control your activity. So your activity has to be focused on the system in front of you. Contact people, connect those people, bring them to a director, put them in the system, give them the guidelines and say, this is how we do it, and then go find somebody else. Do not spend your time with those people teaching them how to do their KYCs. That's all there for them. So once again, we have the responsibility to take action because something's wrong. And this is exactly what our founding fathers were talking about. They really weren't just talking about the government, although certainly the main focus was there, that we had to protect the people. And in order for us, if you want to see your business grow, then you have to make a change. As George Foreman said, I'm not afraid of change. I'm afraid of staying the same. And what he meant by that was learning. He's a very, very smart businessman. and he learned how to be one. He came up from the ranks of a rough and tough kid with a serious attitude towards life. He hated everybody. They taught him how to take that anger and go pound people for the first couple years of his career, all through the Olympics and through his heavyweight champions. Sure, he pounded everybody till he got to Ali. And then, but he realized that he needed to turn that anger around into something else. And that guy you saw a long time ago, if any of you are familiar with it, he saw something was wrong, and he had the ability to take action. And the people around him came into his life and said, look, we got to make a change. This doesn't work for you anymore. We need to turn you around. It's obvious that something's wrong because people are now beating you. So let's make a change. And he made all these changes in his life and has become and went back to boxing, by the way, and became a champion again. But his focus was on being a better person. He had the ability to take action, and he did. And now he's an extremely successful businessman, coming from the gutters of life to the top of the business world. So I believe if you're here and you come to the Breakfast Club all the time and are excited about the information, presentation, and manuals, that you take action. And your action should be to change what you're doing on a daily basis. And that means that you plan your day, you operate your business by communicating and connecting, educating yourself further to be a better business person, and take care of your business. Monitor your business. Find out how much activity you're having every day. Monitor it. Make a choice on how many connections you should make a day. Truthfully, if you really want to excel, talk to 10 people who say, I want to look at your business every day, and they actually do it. Now, if you want to move along, that's going to still get you into into income, then 3 people a day. That's what they say. 3 people a day. Watch a piece of information from the company, connect with them, put them in with a director. If you do that 3 times a day, you're looking at 6 months to a year with a very, very serious income. But you have to teach your people to do that, and that's why we created the system that we have now. And the final piece to this is this manual to be able to give to people. But let me just say this. I said this yesterday. We're going to keep saying, we're not giving it away. Normally people do this and they keep it to their own group. It's going to be a PDF. You're not going to be able to copy it. And you need to join Tools Rock to get it. Now, some of you think that's a money-making thing. Well, I can't help what you think. It's not our responsibility on how you perceive that. This took a lot of time and energy, the whole system, and we've given away 90% of it so far. But the reason we don't want to just hand it to the companies is because they want to understand it, number one. And number two is you need to take responsibility for your business. If you have to spend $20 a month to get a marketing tool, a contact manager, and be able to have access to the friends and family, the 12-week plan, and this business presentation, it's $20 a month. You need to put that in your budget and figure out how to do that. And at least do that for 60 days to see. But then again, you have to every day, Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday anyway, making calls, contacts, emails, using a system, using social media to go find the people. And those people are people who are interested in learning how to manage a business from home. So with that, my friends, I'm going to turn this back to you.
Okay, I still want to make some comments on these millennials and everything, because we have such a great opportunity in our business today with the baby boomers and the millennials. And what I have discovered is right now the millennials are at risk of being worse off financially than their parents were. And as we know, their parents are the baby boomers. And here's what's happening. Even though the workers today, the millennials, they're more educated than the baby boomers, believe it or not. But the problem is that they're less likely to have a job, believe it or not. I mean, in this day and time. and what's talked about is education, education, education. And you spend all this money and all this money, but you can't get a job. And so, when you talk about the 18 to 34-year-old, they actually make $2,000 less than people made, a number back in 1980. Today, they're making $2,000 less than they made back in 1980. So what does that tell you? There's something wrong with that picture. There's something wrong going on, and they need to know what it is. So, some of them are just taking a job just to have a job. But if we can get their attention, and they can keep the job that they have, but also have a successful business working from home, they can turn their entire career and picture around. That's where we come in, and that's why this presentation and what we're talking about is so important. Again, like it says in this Constitution, if there's something wrong, those of us that have the ability to take action, we also have the responsibility to take action. So all I'm saying is this: let's start today. Let's take action to help the millennials. They need our help. Let's take action to help the baby boomers, because the 40-40 plan didn't work for them. It's not ever going to work for them. We have to, let's get them out of the Walmarts and the McDonald's and whatever, and let's get them into having a successful business from home. It'll be less stress on them, and it'll be more profitable, for them as well. So, Joe, again, when you think about this presentation, it's the answer. When you think about carrot bars, it's the answer. But we have to know how to communicate it, and we have to know how to connect it to the other people so that the direction they go will be the proper direction. That's our responsibility. Whether you want to take it on or not, that's up to you. But I know it's my responsibility, and I'm doing something about it. Because, what's happening now is making a big difference. And the more difference you can make in somebody else's life, the more difference it's going to make in yours. And like I said the other day, what you have to do, the way to make money is to help somebody else make it first. You just have to be willing to do that. So, we still have 7 minutes before
I want to talk about that communication class again. I sent out a notice and failed to put the time, and then I sent out, for those that are in the waiting list, I sent them the proper time. I didn't massively send it out, and I responded to a couple of people who said, Joe, what time? So I did that. You have till tomorrow afternoon to get registered and follow the instructions at PayPal. The other part of that is arrive early. I mean, really arrive early. It is going to be critical. You'll see tomorrow night. What I'm going to do in the next 24 hours, well, less than that, send out the instructions on the phone call to get there tomorrow night. We'll have, first of all, a phone call. You're going to call into a number, and I'm going to give you some instructions to the webinar. Okay? So you're going to get a letter from me with a simple phone number to call in. The phone number actually, the call, registers those who call in. So if you're not registered and somebody gives you that phone number and you call in, it will not be pleasant for you on the call. So do not do that. Don't call in to get instructions for the links for the webinar. Don't do that, as I can see that. We'll be monitoring that. You'll be kicked off the call. That's number one. We can't control that, but don't be dishonest with it. This is something that you paid for. You'll get the notice on how to communicate tomorrow night, and then you will get to the webinar, and you will know what webinar to get to when you get on the call. So don't be bringing people to these calls. It's private, it's yours, and take the responsibility as a mature person, honest and ambitious, and do the right thing. Call in, you'll get the instructions, the webinar will begin, and the class will begin, and you'll be good to go. But in the meantime, the class is at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and then Monday night. And then the advanced class, which is included in this, will be Tuesday and Wednesday of the following week. Of next week. That way we get this out of the way before the holiday, and I think you'll be pretty darn happy when you get out of there. So make sure you get over to the instructions. And if you're on this call and you do not have an email with the instructions on how to get in that class, send me an email at jpshoop@earthlink.net and request the information. I still need your name, phone number, email, and what it is you're requesting. So that's what I have to say about that. So get that done so we can get this letter out to everybody with the phone number where you can call in, get the instructions for the webinar and the ID and so on, and we'll be ready to go. Now come in Wednesday night, 10 minutes ahead. I'll have that in the instructions, 10 minutes ahead of time, so that we can give you the instructions, because you're going to need to do something. Come in on your computer. Even though you're on the telephone, you'll need to have your computer on. You need to turn your computer on while you're talking to me on the telephone. So that being said, over to you, my friend.
Okay, we are 3 minutes to the bottom of the hour. Remember, start today for 2015. I can tell you it's going to be a phenomenal year for a lot of people. And the secret code is work. W-O-R-K. If you're willing to work, 2015 can probably be the best year you ever had in business. And that's our plan, to make it that way. But you have to work, and you have to do the things that are necessary. So with that being said, let's go out, make it a great day. Let's change our life. Let's change a career, city, state, country. And most of all, let's make a change in this world. But let's be the change first in us that we want to see in the world. And let's work. Let's start right now for next year. So,
hey, one more question. Does anybody have any questions in that box?
I haven't seen any.
Okay, good. No problem then. Just make sure.
Yeah, well, you already answered it. You know, what was the, what was the class start time? Yeah. And so I think pretty much all of them have been answered. Yeah, pretty much all of them have been answered from what I see. So
let me address one more thing before we go. Some people have called me and they were in the class before. Some people said, "Oh, I didn't complete it. I didn't know. I didn't." Some people I can't even find that said they were in the class, so I need help with that. I sent them emails. Number two is people who have been in the class and want to participate in this class. You have a choice to come in for free. Get somebody else to come in. Refer somebody to the class, and yours is free. Otherwise, yours is half price. And there's no adjustment I can make for anyone, simply because it wouldn't be fair to make it for one person and not another. People that have done the class over again, they've done it for half price. So you'll see the instructions in there, but I cannot grant people a free ride for one person and not another, and it's not fair to do it that way. So just wanted to make that statement. I'm not sending emails back to those who have asked me that. If you've missed the class before, or something came up and you didn't make it a priority to get to that class and you paid for it, I got people asking me to come in for free again, even if you guys remember a year ago, I did it for free for the very first class. Put, I don't know, 50 people in that first class and did it for free. So some of those people are asking me, can I come back in for free again? Which I think is a little nervy, but anyway, I just, follow the instructions that are on there that I sent out, and you'll be fine. Find a way. This is your business. Make a commitment to get there, and you'll be good to go. So thanks, Mark.
Okay, well, let's go out and make it a great day. Peace and blessings to you. This is Mark Stevens for our host, Joe Shoop. Say peace and blessings, everybody, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning on The Breakfast Club. Have a great day, everyone.